Greetings and hello, Rangerverse. I hope you've all had a very Merry Gridmas and a very Happy New Year indeed. Welcome back to yet the continuing adventures of the Power Rangers CyberStrike. I am, of course, Twitch the person, and in but a moment I will be unmuting and introducing you, or reintroducing you, to the cast of the campaign. So without further ado, let us find the button I need to press. There it is. Hello and welcome everyone. We are now live and in color.
Twitch, I haven't spoken to you since last year.
I knew one of you were going to do it, and that's absolutely horrendous. And you take 75 points of bludgeoning damage. Because I fucking said
eyes.
no copyright. Copyright. Anyway, yes, hello. Welcome back to Power Rangers CyberStrike. As I said, I am Twitch the person, and I will now be introducing you to your cast of Power Rangers CyberStrike. It's going to take I do apologize if I fumble a little bit going forward. I've got to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, quite a bit of a lengthy hiatus, but such was the holiday season. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing first, playing the role of Marika Hammond, the Red CyberStrike Ranger, we have Chocolate Zombie.
Live and in living color on a Tuesday night?
No.
Or afternoon?
Playing the role of Arrow, the Yellow CyberStrike Ranger, we have Cryptic Cyanogen.
I don't know why, and I don't know who this person is, but I can feel the Iron Sheik smiling.
Playing the role of Nova, the Blue CyberStrike Ranger, we have Deluna 13.
How's it going, everybody? I got drumsticks that match my character.
Fair enough. Playing the role of the Green CyberStrike Ranger, we have the Internet's Mr. Hardluck.
I got a rock.
Enough. Playing the role of Dwayne Caruso, the Black Phantom Black Ranger. Cyber Phantom Black Ranger. I still don't know the best way to... that Phantom Black.
Phantom Black sounds better.
Yeah, Phantom Black. The Phantom Black Ranger. Cyber Phantom Black. I'll iron that one out. We have Rosso 06.
Hello, and we've spent basically the entire bit of last year on my home world.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
That was down to scheduling conflicts as well.
It's only been a few days, but it feels like it's been over a year.
And of course, rounding up the team, our resident Alpha Sentinel and robot walking tank destroyer of bosses. Playing the Proto Ranger Orchid, we have Dynamo Tom.
Yeah.
Probably one of the funniest moments of the entire campaign last year. That was just hilarious. And of course, I am Twitch the person. I am the Dungeon Master, Game Master, Grid Master, whatever you want to call me, for the Power Rangers CyberStrike campaign. And yes, we are officially... Well, we're still on Smilodia, but we are officially moving forward with the campaign from the Black Ranger arc. Where will the Rangers go next? We shall find out very, very soon. So, on the last episode of Power Rangers CyberStrike, the aftermath of the Battle of Smilodia saw the Rangers helping out with various odds and ends on the planet. The populace of Smilodia coming to terms with the fact that their planet was not as invincible as they believed it to be. And many other shifts in political standing and societal standings, shall we say, within the hierarchy of Smilodia. We saw Dwayne Caruso received the title of High Hunter after being officially reinstated back to the ranks of Smalodia after leaving in his youth. We also saw. Well, we didn't see. The Rangers stumbled. Didn't stumble. I do apologize. It's been a while. The Rangers also managed to obtain some information from an alpha unit that they found on the planet, which seemed to disturb Professor Daxian quite a lot. It's been a few days now. You've basically been living on Smelodia. Dwayne, flip-flopping back and forth between his family house and the ship. But you've kind of just been settling in while the plans for the basically this galaxy-wide force field trench type thing that has been planned gets worked on. So this is the council room. Let me move you to just go back to the arcology picture. What is it you are all doing currently?
What time of day is it, would you say?
I would say it's about early in the morning.
Marika would probably be doing like her morning exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, probably like running laps around wherever the area is that the ship is stationed.
Yeah.
Just going for a jog around the dock.
Yeah, sure.
Would Gira be home at this point?
Yeah,
or would he be busy?
No, Gira will be home.
Where would he be in the household? Would he be like in his own personal study, or?
I would say yes. Yeah, he'd be not so much like in a personal. He doesn't really have like a personal study in his house, in your house. It would be more akin to say that a lot of his work is done when he's on the job, and when he comes home, like there's not much work brought to the house. So he's in and around the house.
He doesn't bring work home with him. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right. Dwayne would catch him, sort of, relatively if he's like by himself, and he's like, kind of wondering if I could ask you about something, Dad.
He turns to you. He is dressed, as he's ready, going, getting ready to go to the meetings and stuff that he has to attend to. He nods. He just says, he just turns to you and goes, "What's on your mind, son?"
I'm not sure if it's necessarily come across your desk or if it's come across the desk of one of the other top cats, but there was just something that kind of stuck out to me when we was going down into the tunnels for the central arcology.
He looks like, he looks at you and is just like, continue, as if to say, like, carry on.
Well, Dwayne's kind of got a bit of an expectant look. Like, did you actually read the report, or was it just something that was glossed over?
What are you
talking about the Rousers and Mousers in the caverns?
Right, yeah, but again, he's looking at you as if to say, like, ask the question that you wish to, you want to know.
It's the fact that they could talk, that they started having a society like ours, and just the inscriptions on the walls and something of a great flame, and the fact that they're living in an arcology under the main arcology, and they're becoming almost like us. And I'm like, I'm not sure what to think of that.
He kind of he nods, kind of lets out a long sigh. I'll be honest, it's rather hard to fathom. However, the last few days have taught me anything. If the last few days have taught me anything, is that almost anything is possible. If what you have said is true, and I'm inclined to believe you, as there have been many reports, second eyewitness report from one of our own, then we will be attempting to make contact with these civilized Mausers, browsers. Perhaps there is a divide in their species. I am no scientist. Nevertheless, it has been noted, and while a societal shift for us, that is not where our immediate concerns lie. If what you said is true, then they have retreated deeper underground. They seem to keep themselves secluded from their more savage compatriots. Till such a time that this can be explored further, I believe it will be better for us to learn from afar. Nevertheless, you needn't worry.
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering, just thoughts and questions in my head, and
As do we all. Wait, as do we all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting with the new leaders of the arcology. Well, one of the new leaders of the arcology.
hopefully that goes well.
It's been a transition for some, like that. Schedule is old for myself. I do believe your sister is meeting with Professor Daxian and your Ranger teammate Orchid down on your ship for something. I could not, although she did take a number of drones with her.
Probably something to do with what's going on the ship. I will see you later then, and I better make sure that she doesn't get into any trouble.
Make sure to stop by before you leave. If not, we'll be there at the hangar but when your ship departs. And he gives
I
you
appreciate that.
he gives like a small smile and a nod, and he heads out. As the scene is... oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Dwayne will then just make his way over to the ship then.
Yeah, sure. So, as Dwayne makes his way from his home down to the hangar bay, the scene shifts down into the hangar. You see Marika doing her daily routines and everything else. Nova, Errol...
If she sees Dwayne heading back, she'll give like a wave and then just go back about her business.
Yeah, that's fine. Nova, Scott, and Errol, what are you guys up to?
Arrow would Noah would be helping out with Orchid and Professor Daxian with whatever they're doing.
Okay.
Arrow would be following Marka's example, trying to clear his head. A lot of old demons popped up.
Yep. And Scott?
I'm having breakfast.
Yep, fair enough. So the scene shifts as it comes down into the Gamma and goes to one of the work bays. Still, kind of now in more disassembled parts, but kind of cleaned up as well, is the Alpha unit. But also scattered around a bunch of drones, drone parts, 2 complete drones that are hovering around Orchid. Professor Daxian and Lyra standing there. Lyra's got like a remote control like module around her. And she goes, okay. And Orchid, if you initiate the running procedure.
Initiating the procedure now.
Professor Daxian by the on the screen just says, oh, all systems look normal. And as the loading bar goes up, the drones start to kind of like circle around you, Orchid, before all of a sudden one of them kind of sparks, smokes, and then they both just fall to the ground again.
Just grumbles.
Lyra does as well. It's, That's a Daxian.
No, but
Yeah, go ahead.
no, but just to clear the tension. Well, that could have gone worse.
Not. Lyra's just like, I don't understand what's wrong. For all intents and purposes, Orchid should be able to at least link up with one. And Lyra's she's just completely like muttering to herself, and Professor Daxian turns and says, just goes and turns to Lyra and rattles off. I told you, Lyra, that the Alpha Sentinel technology is it was designed to be picky at what it allowed in, what wouldn't. Coupled in with the fact that Orchid is now no ordinary being in herself, perhaps linking them through this hive mind technology you have is just not something that we can achieve here. However, we have made some advancements pairing up some of the old Alpha technology from this unit. I'd say the drones will work even better now, and they will probably function at least 30 to 45% better on their own. Besides, it's not like Orchid needs a defense spot. He kind of turns to you and smiles, Orchid.
I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at the drone, trying to figure out why. I'm mumbling.
Yeah. That's fair. Again, this is something that you've been trying in like the couple of days, and it's like you can speak to them, and you can understand the framework of the Smilodian drones and how they work, and what they
I just
are
can't
prepared to do.
synchronize with them.
Yeah, you're just unable to like fully sync with them. But Professor Daxian just kind of sighs and says, "Pursuit of advancement will always give way to failure, but in failure you can learn." And she's gone. Where has she gone? Lyra's left the room. She left the. Nova, you saw her leave the room. She was mumbling about going to grab some other things.
She'll be back. She went to go grab some other tools.
Reminds me of me in my youth.
You are right, maybe.
I go in a different direction.
Orchid, where are you?
Also mumbling.
Well, I'll give them that I will definitely give them points for effort.
Definitely can't say they're not dedicated to this.
Well, I must say that I myself am rather curious if it's possible at all.
I
Be
assume
interesting.
Lyra headed out of the ship, right? Orchid
Yeah.
headed just deeper into the ship.
Yeah, Lyra headed back out of the ship, and Orchid, you've gone in the ship. What were you going to say, Nova?
I was gonna say, it'll definitely be interesting to be sure.
Well, like I said, if anything, the data that I've been able to compile in the few short days we've been here while Lyra's been trying this experiment, we can definitely integrate some of the Smilodian drones with tech of our own. They will see an increase in combat capability, so it should help any of the soldiers that Smilodia sends, and perhaps some of our soldiers that are out there right now. But, as I said, not even I'm sure anything could link with Orchid systems now. Still, like I said, I give them points for trying.
Nova, like, he sees Nova instinctually look over at the Alpha unit. Like, and then real quick, look back.
Yes. I have managed to pull up some more data from its memory banks. By all accounts, I could actually get the unit up and running again, given time. Perhaps not fully functional, but well, it would be as if he'd come off the assembly line.
The main,
I can't say I was not surprised by what we've pulled from its memory banks.
like, do I want to know?
In time, maybe. But it is a mystery for another day.
Let's say, Professor, I think that we got a long road ahead of us, don't we?
Daxian kind of just smiles and chuckles and said, be honest, Nova, I don't much know. I don't much think we've been on the road the last few years. Well, I certainly have not before I met all of you. Still, great victory. And once we have finalized everything here and we can start implementing the plans, the Alliance will be better for it. So, while those two are off, I should probably get back to work on that.
Yep. Same.
Do you leave? Or
Like, he just goes over to the computer and starts typing up stuff he thinks will help.
yeah, that's fair. Daxian kind of turns back to the graphics, to his console, looking back and just giving a brief look at the Alpha unit, and just says to himself, "What were you doing, Ulrich?"
Do I? Does Nova hear that? Can I see if like?
I mean, he wasn't saying it under his breath, and he said, you all saw the first, like what he pulled off of the data banks before in the last session. So you already know he knows who's in the videos, in like
Yeah.
So he wasn't really trying to hide anything there.
Like for a split second, Noah stops typing, shakes his head, and just keeps going.
Orchid, what did you go off to try and do?
I went to where I have currently stationed myself during my time on said ship, and just collecting the different tools and components that I've kind of started just stockpiling there to see if anything can help, like either clear up the noise of the synchronization, or you know, trying to. It's that frustrating trying to. Something must work.
Yeah, I get you. Cool. As you get back there, you hear Lyra come stumbling in with another, struggling with like just a large box of mishmashed parts and whatnot. Ah, Orchid. Thought I might find you down here. Right, something in here has to help. Maybe. Probably. Certainly. She starts digging through this box.
I kind of just grab, like, the armful of stuff that is potentially related that could help, take them over to Lyra.
Out of the things we have been going through, I feel like these might have a chance at least helping either strengthen the signal or decode the signal. But begrudgingly, much like Action said, it is a very slim chance. I'm now trying to find a way to bypass it. Instead of a full sync, try to just make a lead detached network or an extension.
Well, you see, maybe we're going about this the wrong way. As Professor Daxian said, you were designed originally to be highly advanced and to be able to keep out all forms of attack from the Machine Empire. With your enhanced grid presence and everything about you, perhaps it's not more technology that we need to integrate, but maybe less. Perhaps dumbing down the synchronization network. Almost, say, disconnecting them from the main hive. Of course, that would then... Well, that would, of course, then not give them the advantage of being able to run tactile communications or anything else whilst down the field. It would just be solely you and the drone, or anyone else that is currently controlling said drone. It would be like, I don't know, a two-man team.
That makes a lot of sense. I do remember there is definite evidence sometimes the simpler option is the better option.
That Lyra
Even if it is a shorter sighted option.
Lyra kind of like, she smiles and says, exactly. Yes. Although not what I had originally hoped, but again, even if this doesn't sync with you, perhaps I could take the data and then every individual member of the Smilodian forces could have, well, should they choose, could have their own personal drone to aid them in the field.
That definitely sounds like a avenue to explore. Where do you believe we should start with it?
I kind of just place down the components.
Lyra said she kind of just walks over to one of the drone that you brought. She says, the first thing we need to do is disconnect one of the drones from the main hive. This would be relatively simple, considering these drones are mine. After that, it would be a case of maybe trying to link them with you directly rather than through remote means. It would mean that you would essentially become like the main hive. Mind we have here on Smilodia, the ones that we use for it, the neural network. It's worth a shot.
Let me know when you have disconnected it. I think I want to try something.
Yeah. Lyra smiles, she nods, and she sets to work on all of that. As you all can with Lyra doing that, all of you do get a call to from Commander Kruger to come to the war or the council chambers. Not the war room, but the council chamber. You're not all intended to go. Excuse me. You don't all need to go, but Professor Daxian says some of you should, if you're all working on something currently, then it would be, it's not mandatory that you turn up, but
I think Marika, at the bare minimum, Marika will go.
Nova will look at the professor and be like, yeah, you know what? Probably more effective using my time than what I'm doing right here. I feel the girls have it.
yeah, Professor Daxian nods, and Daxian's going to make his way up. Scott, did you say you were going?
Yeah.
Yep, cool. Arrow?
Cryptic?
Yeah, Arrow follows.
Dwayne, what do you do?
I just wanted a quick question. In terms of the upgrades and stuff, I mean, are they finished, or how many days has it been?
What upgrades? Remind me.
Oh, I had like upgrades on the claw gauntlets. That was like 4 days.
I would say they are done now.
Okay.
More than like.
But yeah, he was just more of a he would just sort of touch base with his sort of little personal area, but then he would go along to the council room.
Cool. Orchid, I'm assuming you're going to stay.
Unless I'm not like directly called for.
No, you don't. You don't all need.
Notice.
Yeah, you don't all need to go. But that. So it's just the core 5 that are going, along with Daxium. As we move back over to the council chambers. As you enter the council chamber, it's all the high-ranking officials. You see some of the other Alliance members that have made their way to Smilodia. You see Commander Kruger speaking with the top cats of the arcologies.
Would we see whoever the new top cat leaders are that got promoted?
Yes, you would. So, replacing Biggs and Chess. No, not Biggs. Guile and Chess. Sorry. Mixed up my Mixed up my Smellodians then. So replacing Chess as the North Arcology leader is a top cat by the name of Fasa, F-A-S-A. He is a he's like a middle-aged white tiger, not white tiger, like a whitish cat. Couple of little like black stripes type there, but he was well known for his his forwardness and his political standing, and it was on very good was on good terms with Ptah. And taking over the southwest arcology is an older top cat by the name of Brannon. The reason he's taken over the southwest arcology is because it was felt that because the southwest arcology was the one that was affected the most by Gile, considering he was the one that betrayed the planet, it needed a strong but wiser leader. So he was the one that took over there. And like I said, he's an older looking black cat. He, again, very well respected. You don't know much about them, but they are, for all intents and purposes, like on board with Tabs, Biggs, and Ptah. As everything comes to attention, you all take your seats, and Gira is the first to stand up and start the proceedings as he moves to the center of the room. Welcome, everyone, one and all, friends. Plans are moving forward. We will be launching several of our ships to the front lines to meet with the rest of the Alliance, your soldiers. We will be sending provisions and shield technology to aid in the many battles that are happening. We've been informed as much as we can from all of you in the Alliance, and we are grateful for the assistance in getting us ready. And likewise, we strive to hopefully alleviate some of your pressures on the front lines. As far as integrating our satellite networks with yours, we are afraid it's going to take some time. However, we have come across few problems. As he says this, the lights in the room kind of go dim, and you see a map, much like the ones that you've been around as you did like on Zybria, or when you were on the capital ship, or you're on your own ship. It's basically a map of the galaxy, and you see from where it is a line that is drawn more or less across everything. As he continues, this is the predicted map of where we will need to place our satellites to interconnect with the ones that you already have. However, as you can see, as it zooms in, there are several red intersecting lines. These are areas where the fighting is too heavy, and we would need significant pushback if we were to implement this plan. Now, it would be beneficial if all areas could be taken. However, he then zooms in. There are 2 key locations that we can use to make this work. And he zooms in on 2 planets. If we can push the fighting from here and here on the front line, and we can set up the shield array. There are murmurs now around everyone like that. The Smilodians already know that this is a colossal undertaking, and some of the
Hey, Twitch.
yo.
Could I roll a just like a smarts roll, like a alertness or whatever I need to roll, just to see if I know anything about those particular locations?
Oh yeah, sure. Make a. Let me just bring up the sheet a sec. Yeah, make a smarts culture roll.
All right. Yeah, 16.
Yeah, more than enough. The two planets you see, one of them is a frozen planet called Kelvis. You were actually supposed to be stationed there once upon a time before it came under far heavier fire. And the other planet is further up into the nearer the red zone, and that's a jungle planet that is yet unnamed because I couldn't think of a name for it.
It has not been explored yet.
Yeah, it's one of those planets that you find in something like that. It's habitable, but like it's not one of those places where you want to live. Yeah.
Would any of those planets with that 16? Would I know if any of those planets correlate to the map we had about where the mineral pings were?
Good question.
Above game real quick while you figure that out. But Joe, the jungle planet's Miranoi. We just didn't want to say it.
Jungle planet is not Miranoi, but do not quote.
Could be worse. Could be Cadia.
It could be Cadia, yeah. Go ahead. Ooh. 16. What would I make?
If you want me to make another roll, I will.
I'm trying to think. Is there not really something for, memory?
Alertness?
Yeah, I guess it would just be a straight alertness roll, that one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, make me an alertness roll, please.
$19.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it does correlate. It's definitely in the area where there have been some of the strongest signals. However, you do also remember that the front lines did have a lot more, strong signaling there. But you haven't really done a major scan since.
Which one would be the closest in that opinion?
The closer planet is Kelvis.
Okay. With that knowledge, Marika would raise her hand.
Gira, as she says, Captain Hammond.
If my memory is correct, planet Kelvis, she would look to her crew. I believe, and Commander Kruger would also know this, I believe that our major objective may actually align with that planet. If need be, our team could head there and try to help with clearing the area so you could configure your satellites.
Gira kind of turns to Commander Kruger, and Kruger nods and says that Captain Hammond speaks true. However, sorry, one sec. Right. However, we have received information. Now that we know that this mineral you speak of, Captain Hammond, can be weaponized, as proven on Operative Dwayne, Operative Caruso, our lead scientists updated us with this. And as he presses something just on the console in front of him, the hollow map shifts into like images. These are images and recordings from the front lines, as we know. Tell me, do you see anything similar, or anything that you recognize? And as he says this, there are similar to how Wolfgang Beta kind of charged up the attack and fired it. That purple glow. You see cogs, putties, piranatrons, and quantrons in these recordings firing off these purple blasts. But they look far more controlled. It would appear that they have managed to succeed in some sort of prototype of the weapon that nearly disconnected you, Dwayne, from your morphing capabilities.
That leads to one question then. Where?
As you say this, the map comes back up, and there are definitely now more focused and concise locations for where this energy signature is. As you know, Rangers, you were originally tasked to finding out what it was this mineral was. In that endeavor, you have succeeded, albeit nearly at great cost. Now, it would appear that Dark Spectre's forces have weaponized it. Sorry, I had to cough there for a sec. I've already dispatched many teams to take a look and find any in areas that we have full access to. However, as you can see, and he zooms in, this mineral has sprouted up across many planets, and we still have no reason to understand why. Dwayne, if you want, you can make me an alertness roll to recall something. And you as well, Scott, actually. You can both make alertness rolls individually.
Would this be perception, grid sensitivity, or alertness in general?
Alertness in general, to recall something that the emissaries / Phantom Ranger said to you. 15, yeah, cool. Ooh, 5.
5.
Dwayne, you are still processing a lot of things. A lot of you, but Scott, you seem to recall that the Green Emissary mentioned that the reason this mineral kept popping up was because of a shattering of the grid event that he mentioned.
I will attempt to have an opportunity to share that information.
Yeah, no, you can just chime in anytime you want.
Okay. I do that. And I look at Dwayne to, see if he can corroborate.
The emissaries did mention about shadowing of a grid. A very big event that happened, and it's affected all the multiverse. It's essentially turned the grid into a multiverse. Still trying to process all the different versions of everyone. Ugh. I apologize.
Oh, don't apologize. That's still insane to say out loud.
Yeah, one of them, Orchid, was a human.
Never.
Weird.
Nevertheless, the ramifications of alternate worlds and timelines aside, which, again, not out of the question when it comes to the grid.
Above game, did the emissary mention Tommy by name?
Nope.
Mentioned a Lord Draken, though.
Yeah. Draken was said, but Tommy was not. Professor Daxian says that if they have managed to weaponize this, then I have a theory. Not a working theory, but a hypothesis.
Can I quickly do another alertness check, Twitch? Because I want to see if I can remember this.
What? Remember what?
Trek was using this grid, and he was doing something finicky with it.
He was?
It was something, was it like trying to access the grid with it?
Roll alertness. Well, sorry, no,
12.
not enough.
Mm.
You know he was trying to harness it in some fashion, but you're not 100% sure what for.
Mm-hmm.
But Professor Daxian then chimes in and goes, I have a hypothesis. This mineral, which we are now calling anti-grid mineral, or AGM for short. It emits a frequency, and as such, all energies we know can be reversed in some shape or form. Myself and a few of my colleagues believe that we could fashion a defense by reversing its power, almost. Kind of like turning it back on itself. And after he finishes that, there's a lot of there's a few murmurs in the room. A lot of the small audience are just kind of like going, just like they haven't got a clue. They're just like, yeah, we got no idea, buddy. Like absolutely zero.
Marika, just out of the blue, would look at Professor Daxian and say, well, if there is this, whenever this shattering happened, it obviously had to affect every multiverse. Would there be a potential origin point in our world for it?
Again, from what Scott and Dwayne have told us, in their meetings with these emissaries, oh God, our timeline isn't technically supposed to exist. Again, that makes everything sound completely and utterly insane, but I don't believe there would be any way to track an origin point. I'm not even sure at what point our timeline would have diverged from another timeline. It's all very science fiction.
Just a theory. This is science fiction. We all look at the hard camera.
I am trying not so hard above game not to react every time you guys say that.
It's just a theory.
Yes.
No, I know you are. I can feel it.
That's
But,
why we keep doing it.
Yeah. But Commander Kruger just goes, all of this aside, Professor Daxian, if you are able to pursue this course, then I believe it would be highly beneficial for your team, most of all, but also for us. As far as we can tell, it's just a highly concentrated energy blast when it hits regular soldiers. However, for anyone who is a ranger or connected to the grid, it'd be, well, we already saw the effects of what it can do to one ranger.
With the potential consequence that they blow up if things go badly.
Professor Daxian goes, yes, but that was an unrefined blast that hit you, Dwayne. Nevertheless, myself and the others will endeavor in this course of thought, mainly after we establish the first satellite arrays, of which, someone was going to speak.
You can continue.
Professor Daxian moves out from behind his from where he is, and using the data tablet he has in his hand, he says, I have corroborated with many of your engineers here on Smilodia, and a lot of your satellite pilots, shall I say. Your technology in shielding is remarkable. And integrating them with our satellites and space stations across our lines should theoretically go without a hitch. But as you have pointed out, we need a complete circuit if we are to maintain it. And once we have a working line, it can be bolstered by adding more satellites or building brand new ones. And as he's been saying this, you see the Smilodian, like the miniature arcology ship that I have shown before, but for the benefit of everyone else, I'm going to show again if I can find it, unless I got rid of it. Yes, there it is. So the Smilodian shield stations kind of look like I'm pretty sure these are from Stargate SG-1. They look like this for those on stream.
Yep, the gold
Yeah, I think
vessels.
yeah, the gold vessels. Yes. Don't own it, not copyrighted, but they just look really, really cool. They're the ones that are piloted. In fact, they're the ones that kind of encircle the planet as it is now. But there are many more that can be adapted and sent off, which is what Brasidaxian and the rest of the Smilodian scientists and engineers have been working on. But as Commander Gira has pointed out, we will need to secure one or both of these planets. And considering Captain Hammond's latest meetings here, I believe it would be best if my team headed to the Kelvis sector. Commander Kruger just kind of looks around at the other Alliance figureheads. You see the Admiral from Aquitar. You see one of the representatives from Zybria and all them, and they all kind of nod in agreement. And then Commander Kruger looks to the Smelody contingency and just says, and looks at them and says, expecting them to nod, and they kind of all look at each other and just go, they agree as well, not used to being, part of a greater council, as it were. Commander Kruger then nods and says, very well. Professor Daxian, you and the Rangers will head to the Kelvis sector at your discretion. I should also mention, planet Kelvis was an advanced Korovian shipyard. Or it came under fire.
Real quick, can Nova does no one know that going into this?
No, Nova doesn't know that. Kelvis was one of the places that before KO-35 was sacked before the war. It was one of the forward planets where the front lines were established that most of KO-35 set up to try and create ships and stuff. It was believed that because of the harsh conditions on the planet, it wouldn't fall under so much fire, which was true for the first part, but in retrospect, it then fell from being an assembly line to a forward military base. So there are a lot of Korovians there, but there's also a lot of other members of the Alliance there too.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute. If this was a shipyard, that's what he was trying to do. So that's why it would be like, would he know that about that, or was it just top secret?
It wasn't top secret. It's just not something that was privy to civilians.
That's fair.
As he continually said, Commander Kruger says to Professor Dax, said, it would be prudent to make contact with the main base or planet side. As Professor Daxian nods.
Hey, Twitch above game.
Yeah?
Obviously, you said I was going to be stationed at the Corvus sector at once upon a time. Would I, even though Nova wouldn't know that, would I know that?
Yeah, you would have.
Okay. I didn't want to bet a game, but okay.
No, you would have. Again, Kelvis, being it's a frigid planet, it's got 2 to 3 moons. It's one of those planets that it's kind of, if I had to say anything, imagine Hoth. The Hoth sector of Star Wars. But yeah, it's a very harsh planet. But again, it was a key location that the Alliance was able to get to stop the advance forward of Dark Spectre's forces and whatnot. But it is a planet that is more on the red side of territory than it is yours. Yes?
I was going to say harsh in what way? Like, what specific weather condition is it?
Snowy. It can.
Ah, okay.
You can. There's snowstorms or like that, but you can live on there, relatively easy if you're at, settlement and bases and whatnot.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was mostly just a harsh planet that the Alliance settled on and said, right, this is where we're going to build some stuff and all of that, and they did.
Bring your parkas, kids.
Oh my god, we're going to Hoth.
Yeah.
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Yes.
Bro, so like I said that like a split second before you said that. I'm happy you did.
Yeah, I am expecting many. When I was prepping this going forward, I made a lot of comparisons. I was just like, that's just Hoth. That's just Hoth. That's just Hoth. I was like, fuck.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, like I pointed out a couple of months ago, Dagobah is canon to Power Rangers.
Yeah, it is.
That is true. That is true. It is.
It is. Yeah, it is. Which is hilarious. But yeah, Professor Daxian takes his seat, and the rest of the meeting goes on as planned, without a hitch. There's, the first launch of the satellites and the ships is planned to go ahead, and other teams are being sent out to their respective missions like that. Kruger is going to send his own team out to the other locations that were marked on the map that the Smilodians pointed out.
Once the room disperses, if it's just us and like maybe a few other people, if Kruger is still there, Marika would just kind of turn to him and go, once upon a time I was supposed to be stationed in Calvis. Guess I'm finally getting my chance.
Commander Kruger, he kind of nods and says, yes, I remember it in your file. Before it became a hotbed. And then you were reassigned. Seems all things happen for a reason.
Yeah. Well, no time like the present. Guess we better pack our winter gear.
Might want to pack some winter ghillie suits as well, just in case we want to sneak around.
I mean, as far as I know, our ranger suits should be able to acclimate to the cold. So I'm sure we'd be fine if we're morphed, but I don't know if we want to stay morphed while down there.
Nova's just silent. Anybody who wants to ask him, you can.
Commander Kruger says all the supplies and all of your supplies and anything you need for the mission can be taken from the capital ship and transported down your planet's side before you leave. Good luck, Rangers.
He'll bow. As we leave the room, like when it's just us, Marika will lean into Nova. You're pretty quiet.
No. Then. Don't.
You okay there, Nova?
Guess it's nervousness. My people again. I haven't been home in 4 years.
Probably about as home as you're gonna get. I mean, the Kelda shipyard was created by Korovians.
Think about how I felt when we came here.
No, the thought has crossed my mind the last few minutes.
If I can alleviate some of your fears, Nova, many of the Korovians stationed on Kelvis were recalled when KO-35 came under fire. I don't know how many will still be there. Maybe some refugees decided to flee, to go back, continue the fight. But as you know, many of the refugees settled on Zyber and some of the neighboring colony planets.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it this way. I'm finally getting my chances to end up down there. But I guess that makes two of us.
I don't know if I'm gonna go with anybody. Well, that's you guys.
This is a serious matter, Rangers. Elvis is on the front line. Elvis is as close to the battle. Words hard, stumble. This will be as close to the conflict as we've ever been.
And with the threat of the mineral now being concentrated, it's even worse for us. But I guess this job already has so many risks. It's just adding one more on top of it.
You let me worry.
Be honest. Let's be honest too. We've been away from the front line. It's not that we haven't had anything either way.
Yes,
It
well,
might actually be worthwhile to do a bit of discretion when it comes to being rangers down there, just in case. But if they do have the weapons down there, you know what? Maybe getting one of them to reverse engineer, or at least get to give the Daxian to see what he can do in order to reverse what they're capable of. That'll certainly be something.
Indeed. Well,
It has. I was gonna say, it has been a while since we've done a scan, too. It might also help.
Yeah, let's not forget the scanner in one of our backpacks next time.
you were brought up to date on the scans that the Alliance has done at large.
Oh no! This was the more like the handheld
He's
scanner.
talking
Yeah,
about
we-
the hand scanner.
Yeah, we forgot the hand scanner one time, so I'm making reference to that.
Yeah, you were just lucky Orchid knew what that you were looking for. But yes.
Speaking of Orchid, we're gonna have a story for them.
Well, as you say that, as you are making your way out of the council chamber, running up the corridor, you see Lyra and Orchid being followed by a drone. Lyra, it's the meeting over.
They've
Yes,
just
missed it.
finished, actually.
Yeah.
Orchid, stay here. I have to go find my father. And she kind of like just barrels past you.
I see you guys have been busy.
Yeah, you got
Speaking to
working.
Orchid.
I'm like Nova seems really happy, like seeing the drone flying right behind.
Well, it's not flying behind. It's actually like gravitating around Orchid, and kind of just like flitting up and down and around, almost as if it's like scanning the surroundings. Orchid, you and Lyra managed to get this working, and you are now synced to a sole drone unit. It is just a basic drone. It's got no attachments or anything on it. It's not combat. It's not domestic. At the current time, it is just a floating camera. But it is synced to you.
So in D&D terms, they're familiar.
Yes.
We managed to make some progress.
Professor Daxian kind of said, I see, but... And you are connected to the internal network?
It is more like the drone is connected to me.
So you are not connected to the entirety of the Hive network, but the drone is connected to you.
I kind of like make a gesture I don't need, but to show like I move my hand and the drone moves accordingly to like show that I have control over it.
Yeah.
Yes, we have managed to establish a synchronization where I'm now able to have direct control without need to reference the major network. Lyra was ecstatic about the possibilities that this could lead for other troops, units, political professionals, and those to rescue, being able to also expand on this and have drugs that they can control on a more precise level.
Yes, of course. Going backwards, removing the neural network and dumbing down the technology rather than trying to sync to advanced ones. And of course, if this can be applied to any remote control, then in the field it could work for medical assistance, combat capabilities, scouting. Possibilities are indeed endless. Well done, Orchid. And Lyra, as he said that, Lyra's coming down the corridor, basically pushing your father, Dwayne. She's just going, she's like, and the possibilities we can have are endless. We can do it like that. If we can somehow manage a smaller remote control operation, it would almost be like psychically linked to the technology itself. And then Gira just kind of goes, Lyra, please. You're rambling again.
I send the drone to rotate around them in like an orbit.
And Gira sees this, and she's like, what? And then Lyra's like, see? I did it, Father. I told you there was something else we could do, and then she's like... Kira's just kind of like, he kind of just looks at Professor Daxian, and it's just like, and Professor Daxian goes, come with me, Commander. I will explain. Lyra, well done. When you're finished here with Orchid, meet me back down in the hangar. And Rangers, I will see you there. And Professor Daxian takes a rather confused and perplexed looking Gira off to explain everything that Lyra and Orchid are trying to do. But Lyra kind of looks at Orchid and just gives Orchid a thumbs up.
Thumbs up back.
Honestly, this is now something we could do, and the best part is that all we have to do is disconnect existing drones. I just have to now come up with a way of having a linked way of controlling the drones. Of course, with Orchid, it's... I wonder that maybe through a neural network, a way of giving commands be like, or maybe control helmet within the helmet, or like that or something. And again, Lyra goes off on one of these, she's kind of like brainstorming in the middle of this corridor.
Can I just follow after her, like chiming in ideas of what could work?
Oh, she's not walking away. She's just in the middle of this corridor now with you.
Oh, then yeah, we're just talking about like potential units, like maybe a remote feed or like a portable system with a visual interface.
Yeah.
You know, we're just nerd talking the potentials.
Yeah.
This is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them.
3 of them. Noah's gonna join in.
I also, for the sake of brevity, I think we would eventually relay to Orchid what we learned in the council meeting.
Yes. As the three of you, as Dwayne, Marika, Aero, Scott kind of start herding Nova, Orchid, and Lyra back towards the hangar bay. So that a little time passes, and you all find yourselves in the hangar. There's a contingent there of Mylodian officials. Dwayne, your family's there. There's there's provisions and stuff being loaded on board. Gira has been informed of what Lyra's intents were, and everything else that is she is now being put in charge of implementing what she's doing with her research. But for all intents and purposes, your time now on Smilodia is coming to a close. And you are all in front of the Gamma as the last checks are being done and provisions put on. If there is anything you wish to do now is the time.
Would I have had my little shopping trip in the 4 days before we started today, or is that still on a to-do thing?
No, you'd have done that already.
Oh heck yeah! Then I'm just there working with Lyra in sick jacket.
Yeah.
As we are gearing up to go.
Orchid has been given a jacket, much like the ones of your official CyberStrike uniforms for occasions, and on said jacket is emblazoned the medal that you were all awarded. Also floating above you is still Orchid is the drone, which Lyra is now gifting to you. As it doesn't seem to want to leave you.
It's like, friend, I got a new friend.
It's just like it's happening in the background, trying to make the drone stay, and it just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
No one just notices. I think you have a friend now.
I believe so.
You should name him.
I like to think I'd have more than one.
Lyra just speaks up and said, well, the drones were designed to learn on a hive basis, but considering its only go-to is you, Orchid, then it kind of sees you as what we call the mother point. And this drone will now learn as long as it is around you.
Tilt's head.
So I have a child now.
I'm
getting used to referring to a father.
I don't think more a child, more an assistant.
Professor Daxian laughs, says, no, Orchid, not a child. Much like, I believe, the Smilodian network of drones here all learn and transmit data back to the central point, this drone will do it with you. The mother point just is something that Lyra uses as a terminology for the origin point of data.
You're basically its server now. If that makes sense, turns to Professor Daxian.
Yes, in a sense. But as Lyra said, it will learn as you learn.
Mother, I crave violence.
As it just looks to it and going based off what I've learned, pats it on the top.
That nothing happens. It's just kind of like it just stays there. Because as you know, it was informed, they're not artificial intelligence, but they have a learning function to respond. The drones are smaller to respond and cater to the needs that they are programmed to do. And
logically, Orchid completely understands what's going on. It's trying to relate it to the more emotional.
Yeah.
I'm a mother. It's a child.
Yeah.
Not a child. It's an assistant. Is it a pet? Do I pet it?
Yeah. The only difference is that it's an unknown factor, considering this drone is now linked to something directly linked to the morphing grid. More on that, maybe, probably, who knows. But as that's said, does anyone else want to say anything? Because there are still a few people around.
Dwayne would probably be with his family, just sort of saying his goodbyes.
One thing to note with your family, Dwayne. Your mother is there, your father is there, your sister is there, now in as revealed in the last session, she is now the admiral of the Sailor Corps of Smilodia.
The Grand Admiral?
Yeah, she's the leader. She is the highest ranking one, having received the promotion because the former one sadly perished in the Battle of Smilodia. Your other older sister Mitra's there. She's in her gear as well. She's, of course, she's one of the laborers. She works on all the stuff. She's going to be going out probably on Keeler's ship as well. As you know, Lyra, a medic by profession, but also someone that is very hands-on herself. She's been given a new position right there on Smilodia to further progress the drone technology the way she's been going. Your older brother, Kai, is there. He's also in his military gear, but the other thing that strikes you as quite, it was funny when you first saw it, but your younger brother, Micah, the one that you had to save from the gambling, finance and stuff, he's actually in recruit. What's the word I'm looking for?
He's in private clothes.
Yeah. He's in, like, recruit gear. As there's been a mass recruitment, considering many are going off planet now, so people need to be trained up planet side. And your older brother Kai, while still injured, has been given the orders to train up the new recruits. And your younger brother was politely coerced by your mum. As they're all kind of... Yeah.
That's still going to get a chuckle from Dwayne.
Like, you see Micah, he's kind of like pulling at the uniform. It's just like, these things are so... How do you even do anything?
Dwayne will just sort of straighten up his outfit a little bit and be like, you get used to it.
Kai kind of smirks and says, besides that, you won't be wearing your smarts. Not after what I'm done with you.
Marika is smiling.
Cleo just kind of like taps Kai on the shoulder, like gives him a playful swat, just says, "That commanding officer you may be, but don't treat your brother any differently than you would any other recruit." Your mother, also in full mechanic gear, it will, as she is now she will now be taking up more duty planet side, as other mechanics are now leaving to go reinforce the alliance as a whole. So she kind of puts her hands on your son and she says, "It's just like, I really wish you could stay."
I know, but out there is where I'm needed. The grid takes us where we need to be.
And I suppose we'll all have our work cut out for us now. Still do try to keep in contact.
I'll do my best.
We'll make sure of it. No, it just says from behind him.
He smiles and said, "It was wonderful to meet all of you, and I'm so glad to know that my son is in such capable hands. Your Royal Highness," she says to Professor Daxian, as Daxian just waves his hands and said, "I long renounced my royal status many moons ago. Your hospitality was very welcome." She kind of smiles and nods and steps back. Then your father, Gira, steps up. Says, "I, Hunter Dwayne Coroso. Must say I never thought I'd ever see that day.
Well, the day's come, so it was quite a shock for me as well.
Dare say you've changed the very way Smilodia operates, my boy. Become a fine man. A greater warrior
Thank
than
you.
I could have ever hoped."
Thank you, sir.
He then takes a look at all of you, says, "You have my personal thanks. Without you being here, I fear Smilodia would have fallen. Now we look to battles ahead. I wish you luck on your missions thus far, Rangers. I believe the term is, may the power protect you." He kind of looks at Daxian, and Daxian nods. "I'm afraid I cannot stay. I have to go meet with the rest.
Matters of state, I understand.
I have to go meet with the military counselors. And as your mother said, do try to keep in contact." And he kind of and as he walks away, he holds his arm out to your mother, and they both walk off. Because again, your mother, being one of the higher ranking mechanics, is also needed at such things. Keela walks up and goes, "Well, suppose this may be the last time we see each other for a while, but should we see you out there, stay safe."
You as well.
I'll have them move the ship into position. As she walks off, she gives you a hug and she walks off, shouting orders to have the Gamma readied for departure. Lyra and Mitra talking. Mitra kind of ruffles Lyra's hair as Lyra runs off, waving at you, Orchid, rather enthusiastically. She shouts back.
Waves back.
Yeah, she shouts back and said, "It was very nice to meet you all." She kind of just runs away. As Mitra laughs and said, "Because that you're so scatterbrained, yet so brilliant at the same time." Mitra she picks up her bag, her bags and a pack. What's on her shoulder? Says, "Well, I have my orders. I'm shipping out to one of the first satellites."
Wherever you end up, we'll be lucky to have you.
That's rather exciting. Know the ins and outs of every Smalodian ship. To work on an Alliance satellite? That'll be quite the adventure. See you soon, brother.
See you soon. Who knows, maybe you get to be on the commander's ship.
Maybe. And until then, duty calls. As she she gives like a small salute, and then she starts making her way over to some of the transport shuttles. Kai and Micah both come up to you and say, Kai comes up and just says, "I was less friendly to you and your friend. Don't know how long it will take for me to get back to active duty, but try and save some of them out for me, huh?"
I definitely would. And if you ever get into any trouble, just ask for Kahan.
As you say his name, he kind of just almost as appearing like Beetlejuice out of nowhere, and just says, "I don't worry about him, kid. Ugh. All this excitement's got me raring to go. New hunting grounds. Once those new recruits are whipped into shape, we'll probably see you out there."
Hopefully under good circumstances.
He kind of nods, and then he looks at Kai and Mike, and he says, "You two have your orders. Move it." And then he kind of like gives a little smile to himself, waves to you, and then just kind of goes, "Well, this is gonna be fun." And he also makes his way over to the shuttles. And as the deck is cleared, you all make your way into the Gamma and plot a course to leave the atmosphere. You feel the ship power up. You slowly make your way out of the arcology. And as you leave safe airspace distance, you break the atmosphere, and Smilodia begins to fade into the background as your course is set and coordinates plotted for the planet known as Kelvis. As Smilodia fades from view, and you make the jump to FTL.
Marika just kind of slunks down in her position, probably in the chair on the bridge, and just says, "Oh, it's good to be back in space, honestly."
To agree with you on that one. But we did a lot of good, though.
We definitely did a lot of good.
More than a lot of good, Rangers. You succeeded in the mission, and we've gained some very powerful allies.
All this talk of families just kind of reminded him mine.
Same.
Maybe you should send a message to him then.
Was already planning on it.
Well, you're going to be reminding me about mine, so I might as well return the favor.
Nova just looks at you and says, "Trust me, if they're out there, I'll find them. They'll be shocked first off."
Well, Dwayne's gonna like pull up the navigations. Might as well get a head start. Having a look at a tactical map for what Kelvis is like.
I know there is usually a role that you should do for space travel. I know it is in Across the Stars for anyone watching. For any rule sticklers out there. I, however, do not like how it works.
It's normal.
It's a bit of a head work thing with the way it is, and I do intend to implement it at points where I can make use of it, but for the sake of the campaign and going forward, it's not really necessary to make these guys do a roll and then on the off chance they mess up and then they end up in a black hole or something. So for the sake of it all, they are very well aware of where they're going. The only thing I will say is that it will take a couple of days flight time to get to where they are needed.
Also, I'd like to correct something, a mistake I made earlier. It's only been about a year since since Scale 35 was taken over. Like, I was looking at the history again. Sorry about that. I think it was a year.
In regular canon, yes. In our canon, I would say a little bit over a year.
Yeah, because I accidentally said 4 years. I was like, I need to fix that.
No, it's not 4 years. I don't think I've explicitly mentioned it. Just because if I start doing that, then I have to make up an entire timeline, and that would mess with my head so much.
Ballpark it.
Yeah, so the ballpark is like a little bit over a year since KO35 was sacked. But it was technically under siege for maybe I'd say 2 years before the full sacking of KO35.
Twitch, can I do something as well?
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do.
It's going to be... It's kind of more of a little bit of a vein thing, but on the bridge, like on the map, like a side column, there's going to be icons of the various villains that we've come across and how many times we've essentially kicked their butts.
Oh my god. All right.
We're
Like,
keeping
how many
tally,
like-
kids.
Yeah, keeping tally of how many times we've kicked, Slippery Shark's backside, how many times we've kicked Gerwok's ass.
Well,
Garrock is
thing.
at the top of the list.
In regards to commanders, it's very much the Goldar effect, in which you've defeated them in combat, but you haven't destroyed them. When it comes to monsters of the week, like Slippery Shark and Bluticorn, what else have I had you fight?
You've had us fight essentially their clones, I believe.
It's not so much their
Yeah.
clones; it's the fact that they are another monster created by Dark Spectre's power.
Who was the first guy? Slippery Shark was the very first one we ever fought, right?
Yeah. There was
No, it wasn't. The first person you ever
But-
thought was Snizzard.
There you go.
Yes, there was the Snizzard, but then there was the Snizzard that wasn't intelligent.
Yes. There wasn't the intended one. Then you first Slippery Shark, and you first Poluticorn. And you've
But yes, it's essentially like the commanders and the monsters of the week sort of tally, as it were.
you've faced Wolfbane Beta. And you've also versed multiple quadrupiters.
Yeah.
Trek would be on that list as well.
Trek is also on the list, yes.
That's what I love about this campaign is that like no one session is just strictly dedicated to like one monster of the week.
Yeah, that's a great thing, honestly.
Yeah, I've tried to
Like we're
intimate-
not going week to week and like, okay, this week we're fighting this guy, this week we're fighting this guy. No, it's all an overarching thing.
Yeah, which is really challenging in a Power Rangers setting, let me tell you.
But then again, this is no ordinary Power Rangers campaign.
It is not. So, do you want to take? You guys want to take a bio break for 5 minutes?
Sure.
Please.
Yeah.
Actually,
That is because I would say it's the perfect time to take a bio break here. So feel free to stretch your legs, drink your water, all that stuff. But yeah, no, like as you're saying, little intermission talk here. Yeah, I didn't want to do Monster of the Week when it came to this. I wanted it to be an intertwining long story. And even though some people may question, it's just like, well, why have you introduced... It's like, Rito was introduced in the very, very first episode. And he's been very sporadic throughout. And then I introduced, the likes of Trek and the Machine Empire. And it was like, well, where's Rito in all this? But what I then showed was that Rito is the one pulling the strings in this sector. He's the one that, he's the forward commander for Dark Spectre. He's the one that's got the Machine Empire on a leash. He's the one that's been entrusted with that. So that's what I've been trying to do. Like I've been trying to just weave it all together, and I'm just like, I think the idea for Rito to be the one that is basically, the one that's keeping what's his name, Gasket, in check. I think that was pretty much. I came to that conclusion. I think about episode 8. I want to say I was like, yeah, that might be a really cool idea actually, because I built Rito up to be like this big bad guy, but I don't want him to just appear all the time. I want him to have some gravitas. So what can I do there? And I knew I wanted to introduce the Machine Empire when they were put into the books, because it's just cool. And then I came up with the idea of, I said, well, this is a alternate timeline that I'm making up in my own crazy head. What if King Mondo was destroyed? What if Dark Spectre made him an example, and therefore then had the Machine Empire doing grunt work, even though Gasket tries to put himself, still as this ruler of an empire and what kind of deal. And that's the kind of thing I've been trying to achieve. And then I was like, I need a new enemy. I need a new foot soldier. Who's got cool foot soldiers? I went Astronomer. And I was like, okay, well, the Rangers have been making Rito have setbacks. What's a good way to introduce Astronomer? Oh, he's one of Dark Spectre's VIPs. Send her to keep Rito in check. Maybe. I don't know. Which then opens up the possibility of me having put in more foot soldiers and expanding things a little bit more. But then there's also all the little things that I keep splintering in to see if anyone picks up on them, which you're all very good at doing. Oh, God, it's been so long. I'm not so used to talking so much.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Since I could hold my head up high.
Yeah. No, I think if I were to do another campaign, I wouldn't go so grand scale. I probably would stick to a Monster of the Week format. Because as much as I'm like making this work, and putting in my 2 cents and making everything flow together, Power Rangers just works when it's Monster of the Week. You know what I mean? Story, problem, Monster of the Week, punch Golden in the face, quirky freeze frame from the 90s. Yeah, just means I gotta. The only thing I need to do after that at some point is add in some new threats. Some new threats and a couple of other things. That is for when we get to it. It'll be a lot of fun. If anyone's wondering why there's no music playing at this point, it's because I hit with a couple of copyrights on the last couple of uploads, and a lot of it was from the BRB section. So until I can find the music that's not going to slap me with one of them, you get.
What about the space ambience one?
See, no, I got slapped with one with that, and I'm currently fight. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? You can appeal. You can appeal it on YouTube, but as everyone knows, YouTube doesn't like to use humans to communicate with people in their channels.
Huh, weird.
Right,
I'm going to quickly BRB.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But it happens a lot on YouTube. The system gets abused. Like it's like you can use a non-copyright song, and then someone's like, "Oh no, this company LTD from
5 minutes ago."
Yeah, stuff like that. I had one that was apparently a record label in Brazil claim a video I did years ago. It was one of my Dragon Ball Z videos, and I'm just like, I know for a fact that this company doesn't own this music because it's from Toei. So, and Toei and the rules back then, at least, you couldn't get copyrighted for music in video games because you were uploading video game content, and all music in the video game is licensed to be used in the video game. How it works these days, I'll never know because YouTube are forever trying to mess things up, but whatever. So I appealed that quite quickly, and I was like, that is bullshit. But yeah.
What? YouTube hates content creators? Say it ain't so.
I know. But yeah. So once everyone's back, we will get into the thing. Again, I will point out, yes, very RP heavy, RP heavy session. Tried to make it as in depth as you can, but again, with the nature of the campaign itself, it was we get these sessions. I've said it multiple times. there's sessions where there's constant action going and going and going. And then there's somewhere that's just straight RP.
I'm back.
Hello.
I am also back.
Sweet. Are we all here?
I'm here. I never left.
Awesome. So if oh God, if anyone's here, let me. So I'm going to say that it's going to take about 5 days to get to Kelvis. Traveling as you are. So in that time, if you guys wish to do any upgrades to
I'm back.
oh, hello. So yeah, as I said, 5 days to get to Planet Kelvis. In that time, if you guys want to do any upgrades or anything, now is the time to do it. If there's anything you want to do RP wise as well, again, now is the time. As you are currently in your home base, as it were.
Let me double check something.
Just got Pungus on the ship looking at the new drone, just like,
Friend.
I would just be pottering around, helping Daxian, working on the drone, making sure my stuff is in tip-top shape.
not taking the jacket
Unless
off.
I am. Well, I have multiple jackets now, so
Yeah,
I've taken off. I've taken off the official jacket, and I've put on one of the other jackets.
Okay, I've got something to upgrade if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
I will upgrade the Phantom Laser.
Is that doable?
Yeah, as far as I know.
I mean, yeah, should be.
It's gonna be a hard roll because it's limited, isn't it?
I believe
Not necessarily, because what I'm doing is
It still counts as a limited, even if you put on an automatic upgrade.
yeah.
You have to
it's-
roll to the rarity of the weapon.
Yeah, which book is that in? That's in what was Phantom introduced in? It was Across the Stars.
Across the Stars.
Load that up. Let me find the table. Because if I remember correctly, the upgrade gets increasingly difficult depending on the weapon in question. Equipment. Auto Blaster, Turbo Blade, V Lancer, Light Speed Rescue Claw, Mega Sniper.
okay. So yeah, it is restricted availability.
Shadow Save.
So that's a 15. But thankfully, the two upgrades
is.
that I've got in mind for it are both 0. So I'd just be rolling for the 15.
The Phantom Ranger, back hands range, requirements, classification, restricted. Yep, type. Yeah, okay, restricted. Now where's the upgrade one? Where's my upgrade table gone? It's been so
Yeah, I
long
found
since
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a table 8.2 in the official Power Rangers guide. Yeah, restricted and standard is still restricted. So
Yeah. The upgrade table's in the just a source book, innit? I'm gonna have to.
Yep, page 115.
Gonna have to. No, that's beneath the helmet. Full page 115, you said, yeah?
Yep.
So long since we've done this. Display.
Oh, hail pigeon.
Hail pigeon.
Oh crap! I keep forgetting that is.
Hell pigeon.
Oh, that's the Pokemon stuff. Sorry, I keep forgetting that if I press a number on my keyboard, it's hot linked to pull up a bunch of stuff. So there you get a free hail pigeon. Play. So, what's the role for that then?
I think we decided that it would be the skill that I would use for it. So I'd have to roll my targeting for it.
Journal.
The question is that would anyone like to assist me in the matter?
So long. What are you trying to upgrade it with?
I was gonna go the scope and the silencer again. I think, if I remember rightly, or does it already make it silent?
The Phantom Laser is an energy blast.
Yeah.
It's armor piercing down laser power weapon. But it doesn't have any alternate effects other than the armor piercing. It doesn't have any trait. And the only traits it has is that it's a laser and it's a power weapon.
Yeah, I was gonna put a scope and a silencer on it.
Right. Okay. Which are standard items, correct?
Yes, both of them are standard.
Standard. Which person roll for the available standard 0 restricted. So when they once per visit the command center, additionally 1d20 days time. Use to keep your weapon. Yeah, it's cool. So roll your targeting.
So I'm gonna ask some of the others on the ship if they want to assist on this.
If no one's going to answer.
Anyone gonna answer or?
Nova would help.
You're not getting anything from Orchid.
Oh, okay.
Considering
well-
how things were left off and never been addressed, you're not getting anything from Orchid.
Right. It'll just be Nova.
Oh, easy.
Oh, 21.
Oh yeah, you know you have to beat a 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then I roll a d20 for the amount of days that it's going to be, and the lower the number, the shorter amount of time it would be.
Yeah. Oof.
Okay.
So yeah, you're not going to have your Phantom Laser for 19 days.
And take off the 5 days, so that's 14.
Yeah. But like I said, if there's any RP that you need to get done and dusted now is the time. Is there any outstanding things that need to be resolved?
I'm currently looking at upgrades. Give me, if you want to continue, I can just DM them to you later.
Well, you got to make the rolls, so just decide on what you want to upgrade and whatnot.
RP wise, I just tinker with the drone. I'm not making any like mechanical upgrades to stuff. Probably, sit down with Daxian. We don't need to go through the scene, but just chat with Daxian.
Well, in that case, Daxian, okay, you would find Daxian in his quarters looking at some of the recordings that he's managed to salvage from the Alpha 2 unit. And in the recording that he's watching, the sound comes back. It's the voice of Professor Oren. Alpha Sentinel log 21. All assets have now been moved from the black site, my off-grid location. Probably be court-martialed if they found out I did any of this. I was upset to bring the other two in on it, but needs must. All Daxian knows is that I've been reassigned. There's something here. I know I can crack this. Then it kind of switches again. There. Sentinel data log 49. Repeated attempts to infuse Alpha Sentinel shells with grid manifestation have shown so far negative results. While Alpha Sentinels show all functions as the warrior units they were intended to be, it appears grid assimilation at the moment remains completely out of sight. And again, going through a bunch of other recordings where you see, this flashes of like the unit targets in range. They're using, bladed weapons, fighting, interacting with the assistants there. Professor Daxian is leaning forward and he's locked in on this orchid. He doesn't notice you coming in.
Warrior units. I do not recall this.
I'm kind of like at the doorway, seeing the footage play.
Yeah, Daxian kind of jumps in. Oh, okay, you startled me. Yes, no. Warrior units were not what you were made. This is new to me as well. Don't know what Oren was doing. You have no recollection of any of this?
Some of the place looks familiar. I remember the assistants I know we had a lot of maintenance time, but I do not recall any kind of warrior units or the related training of skills like that as our primary focus was rescue rapid response.
That's exactly what you would. That is exactly the intent we had. I know that was the intent we had. I designed you all, for its sake. Oren must have wiped your memories after each of these tests. Or at least those parts. I can get this unit.
Yeah.
I kind of like step in, make sure the door closes, and send to his console the bit that I gleaned myself from the alpha unit in case anything's different. And then I start doing like an internal scanning, because like if things have been wiped, can I get any like internal feel things are missing if I'm looking for it?
Make a. Would this be science technology, or would this be? Or would this be like a smart?
Well,
thing?
if it's recalling specific information, it could be the role that it's based under. So if we're trying to figure out if certain files and stuff, it could be technology.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Since I'm specialized as logic for persuasion and talking, it could be that with logic. It could just be straight up alertness if it's just default remembering.
No, give me a technology roll.
And you know what? I'ma focus and be programmed to figure this shit out. So I'm just gonna give myself some upshifts as to my origin benefit.
Very well done. Also, I forgot to add a story point for you guys.
So, you know, I have nothing fancy, just... Why didn't that work? I did the shift up.
I was gonna say, that doesn't look like it did the thing.
Oh, no. I'm not specialized. That did work.
Okay.
If it's just a straight up technology roll, so it's just the highest dice, it's a 5. I have no fucking idea if my memories have been doctored.
The files that you did send to Daxian, he kind of matches them up and says, these do, but still don't know what Oren was trying to glean from. It doesn't make any sense. Why would he go behind my back?
I have no sense of anything out. Like, you see, there are some blank spots, but I summarized they were either when I was in Nathan's Hall at the end.
This does corroborate with the fact that when you told us you were awoken, you weren't that black site that I described. None of this appears on record, officially. It's almost like he just vanished. You know, you were supposed to be repurposed. all of you, into royal guards for my brother. Failing your grid organization. It was what I thought would have been best. Then the site came under attack. I thought I lost you all.
Kind of looks down at my hand and is like,
Considering I have been caught lacking recently, I do not know how much of a royal guard I would have made.
He kind of turns, looks at it. What? Lacking, Orchid?
There has been several key moments where I have been unable to respond in the situation that did not lead to someone else getting hurt. It is why I pushed for trying to sync with the dry network to allow me to have a greater reach to be able to do more.
Ah, Orchids. So advanced and yet somewhat naive to the world. I forget. You haven't really been around all that long. He kind of stands up. He takes his glasses off. He kind of that. Orchid, you have not been lacking in what it is you were meant to do. Casualties and people getting hurt is unavoidable in many situations. You are but one being. You can't save everyone. Extremely harsh reality. Take me, for example. On failing the Alpha Sentinel program, as I said, I was going to have you all taken back to Edenoi, then be used as Royal Guard to assist the existing Royal Guard and let my brother. Of course, that never happened. Edenoi was sacked. My brother, thankfully, the refugees got off planet thanks to the help of my nephew. Even then, I felt like I had failed my people. It was out of my hand. When they discovered us, the research site, to make the decision to let you be taken or destroy that which I had created. And I would have seen myself taken hostage before I'd seen any of the technology and work that I had done on all of you fall into the hands of Dark Spectre's forces, or forbid the Machine Empire. It's the small decisions we make in the moment, Orchid, we have control over. And you've saved many lives since joining the team.
kind of just mulling it over.
I know the actions of some of the others may conflict what you see as your core program. But Orchid, you are now so much more than. And one thing you need to consider is that 3 of your teammates, soldiers, they have only known combat. whereas Arrow, Nova... Sorry, no, got that wrong.
It's just Arrow and Noah are the only two that are
Yes, sorry.
not soldiers.
Sorry, retcon that. 4 of your compatriots are soldiers. The only 2 that have not known combat their entire lives are Arrow and Nova.
An Arrow in above game, Arrow's a PTSD-railed mess.
So the decisions may conflict, but they are the actions of people who have been trained to react in the moment. The best consequence of all, not the singular. It's a sad state of affairs that we've been forced to adopt, as the Dark Spectre and his forces. As he says this, Daxia then kind of just slumps down in his chair, and Orchid, you see him kind of like slouch, and he kind of looks hell of a lot older in this moment. Almost like the weight of the years. Just kind of like he's dropped his pretense almost.
No. We have to try.
Oh yes, Orchid, of course we have to. I'm just saying to you that sometimes things are unavoidable.
Then what use is the grid? What use is the power? If some things are avoidable and losses are acceptable.
Losses are not acceptable, Orchid. But they are merely a part of life.
Plays footage of like coming up with plans of sending in civilians to cause a distraction. And plays clips of other things that have happened.
Should we not be the forefront? Should we not be the ones doing the things so they do not have to? Aren't we meant to be the ones who are given a gift, this power, to put ourselves in the place so others shouldn't have to?
Yes, Orchid, you are. In that situation there that you're pointing out, Wayne was not saying to put them in trouble. He was merely pointing out that maybe they could overload the station so that they could escape. He was not placing them in harm. He was merely thinking as a soldier.
Using innocent people as a tactical resource.
Do you not think that they themselves, if they could help, would choose to help you? If you had asked?
But we have the power, we shouldn't have to ask that.
Orchid, the grid is not infallible. Even I don't know the full extent of it. I mean, look at you. For all intents and purposes, you are an improbability. And yet here you stand. One of my finest creations. And so much more. But you are not a single army, Orchid. You are now but one part of a greater purpose. Yes, there will be stumbling along the way. I cannot sit here and promise you that you won't feel confused. And that you won't see the worst of this world, but that is why we now exist. the short time that I've known the Rangers, and since you've joined the team, we've pushed back Spectre's forces in these few short months than we have over the last years of this conflict. Yes, you can protect the innocent, Orchid. But you also inspire them. You, Dwayne, Scott, Arrow, Nova, and Marika. Being a ranger is more than the grid, it's more than the power, it is being a beacon to inspire those who are oppressed to rise. You did a fair bit of that for the people of Smilodia. I mean, look at Lyra. Because of you, she's managed to come up with a way to use that technology that the entirety of Smilodia's best mechanics couldn't think. I'm just saying that while you are a ranger, you need to accept the realities of this conflict. As hard as it may be. Kind of like how I'm having to accept maybe I didn't know my friend as well as I thought I did.
This is the way it needs to be a ranger, then.
So you cut out a bit there.
This is what it means to have the weight of being a ranger, then.
He looks at you and says, yes.
Though there is one slight difference. Before, I was not alone.
And I reach to one of my side hatches and I take out like 4 other like chips.
You did not make me alone. I may stand without them now, but they are still here.
Kind of like hold them firmly, put them back close, put them back away close.
Did you just pull out? What did you just pull out?
I'm the only surviving one. I wasn't the only one alone when I resurfaced, Smile. The others were just beyond repair.
The others will be on repair. I didn't mean the voice mod
Ah,
for that.
right. Okay.
Smile. I have remnants of the others with me because when I emerged, I was the only surviving pod intact.
Yeah.
So the first emotional act that Orchid ever did was bring her team along.
So what exactly did you take from them?
Processes.
Okay, cool.
Fragments of them. They are
so-
gone. They are gone. I just have broken remnants. I have mementos of them, essentially.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I got you. Daxian kind of like stands up and looks at what you showed him and just says, "Ah, oh, my impossible girl."
You got that reference.
Even in my old age, I'm still able to be astounded and awed. They are, Orchid, you are not alone. They are still with you, as is your new team. And yes, it's rough around the edges, and they all have their own unique quirks. Together, You are a force of unstoppable good. Now, enough of this. I have other work to do, and I'm pretty sure Pungus has got himself wrapped up in something. I haven't seen him since we took off.
He's been following my drone around. So,
Nice.
I can tell you he is fine at the moment. Oh, wait a minute. He is reaching for a lever.
Then, you know,
A what?
whatever happens, happens.
What did he reach for?
He is reaching for a lever.
A lever.
I'm trying to use the drone to distract him, but he seems awfully interested in a lever for some reason.
Oh god, no, Pungus, no!
Pull the lever, Croc!
Like that, you just hear Daxian run out of the room. Like, he shuts off his console. He runs out of the room and says, Glyph, show me where Pungus is now! As, Daxian runs off, trying to stop Pungus doing whatever he's about to do.
I look at the consoles with all the footage of Orin and stuff still on. I make sure I make a copy and remember, and I just close it all.
Yeah, sure.
Just a little scene ender, because, you know, apparently there's more questions.
Oh yeah, there's definitely more questions.
Oh,
as well.
Yeah.
Anyone else? What would anyone else like to do?
Marika would like to approach, probably Dwayne. Either Dwayne or Nova.
I think they're still working together, so it'd be both of us most likely.
She would approach...
Dwayne will probably be tinkering with his phantom laser, but he'll be free for a chat.
That's actually perfect. She would walk up, see Dwayne tinkering. Dwayne, you're a master at upgrades, right?
Yeah, it seems to be the thing that I'm kind of been doing on the ship. So, what's up?
She pulls out her I guess pocket knife, or the military knife. Since we're gonna be probably doing a lot of unarmed stuff or unmorphed stuff down on the planet, I figured I'd want to maybe get some more use out of this. Above game, I want to apply, and I'm pulling this from the G.I. Joe book. I want to apply the non-lethal trait, which is a standard one. Basically, has a secondary effect where basically whatever the amount of blunt or sharp damage it has, it can deal the equivalent of that in stun damage.
I can't remember if I have... I remember where I put that on my... I don't know where... I know I have the G.I. Joe book. I can't remember where I've saved it on my computer.
But it is page 148 of the G.I. Joe book.
Ha, found it. 148, you said, yeah?
And I'll post this in the I'll post it in the DMs chat here.
Yeah, the prerequisite is weapon has a blunt or sharp damage effect.
Which
and
my
the
knife
benefit,
has.
And the benefit is the weapon's blunt or sharp damage effect can deal an equivalent amount of stun damage as an alternative effect.
But that's not the only one I want to do too, because I also want to do deadly upgrade. Basically adds an additional sharp damage. So instead of 1, it would be 2.
That is
so
a limited
one
availability.
is standard, 1 is limited. So I don't know how you want to rule that. If there's a way we can do that in 5 days.
Oh, wait. Let me check something because there is something about availability. Let me check. It's in the rules.
Yeah, that's it. It's non-lethal. Okay.
Because in my mind, in game, Marika's like, you know, hey, maybe we can make the blade sharper or add some extra serration to it, and also maybe like add a like just like a hard
Yeah,
blunt surface to like the back of the blade or to the handle, so that I can just bop people.
Yeah, I got it.
It just means after you've done the upgrade, the blade will now count as limited, if that's a limited upgrade.
Yeah.
So you'd have to roll for it as limited.
Okay, I'm trying to remember it because I can't quite find the page for it, but you can't do multiple availabilities on a single item in a single upgrade.
No, you can
You
only
have
do
to go
one
with the
upgrade
lowest
per.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the standard first, and then once that's upgraded, then do the limited version.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Okay, so you wanted non-lethal, which is standard on your knife. So that's you don't have to roll for that. That's completely easy to do.
We could probably do that in like a couple of hours or a day.
I think the only thing you would have to roll is
roll for it.
Yeah,
Is the time.
So you don't have to roll for the difficulty, but you do have to roll for the time.
Yeah. So
which is
one. So roll 1d20.
trying to find where the dice roller is.
Should be right at the very bottom.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And then you click on the one. You click on the d20, and then you click on roll.
So that would be 18 days.
So that's 18 days minus the 5 from the travel, so that's 13 days.
Yeah.
Well, poop.
But yeah, no, that's 100% doable. I couldn't find the G.I. Joe, and I forgot I had that book. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing we have. Yeah. So that would be the first one. So to basically add a kind of like a stunning edge on the back of the blade, the non-sharp part of the blade. Yeah, I got you.
Like a rounded edge.
Yeah, I got you. 100% doable, totally. Anybody else? Errol? Scott?
I think
Nova?
we're good.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, cool. Any RP things you guys want to resolve now?
In addition, like at some point during the journey, Marika would basically like send the equivalent of an email to her parents, basically giving them like the cliff notes of her adventure on Smilodia.
Awesome. Where are your parents stationed currently? Are they?
That's a good question. I don't remember, and I don't remember what if Kruger told me where they were.
Kruger wouldn't tell you where they were, and I don't think you've specified it in anything that you've sent to me.
I haven't specifically.
No. So because you haven't sent me anything.
I think I said that at one point that they were just on the front lines, but I didn't specify where.
Yeah.
I mean, if Marika wants to transfer it to Kruger for him to then transfer it to them, I mean, he can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let her have the.
That's basically why I said like the equivalent of an email, because if that's something that like she knows how to contact them like via email, but otherwise she would, if that's not the case, she would send it to Kruger as like a forward and say, if you could send this to them.
I mean, yeah,
cool.
it's 100. Yeah, it's 100% possible to have a message sent to any member of military things wherever they are. It's just I was asking if you had something in mind on where they would be. Do you want them to be on the front lines? Do you want them to be like part of like a certain fleet?
Yeah, because like I know I specified that like Marika's father was just a career soldier, so he would probably be like on the front lines
Yeah.
somewhere in the fighting. And I don't remember. I think I said my mom was like a medic or like a desk sergeant or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't remember.
Yeah. So yeah, if anything, at the very minimum, her dad would be on the front lines. Maybe her mom would be like at an outpost near the area, near that area.
Yeah. Okay, so like he'd be planet side, she'd be in a satellite or like a medic base. I get you. All right,
Yeah.
that's fine. If you want to try and iron that out in the future a bit more, completely up to
Yeah.
you. But that's stuff I can. But yeah, yeah, that can get sent off and that can be delivered, no problem. One final check for if anyone wants to do anything, now is the time.
I think we're good, or like at least. No,
I'm
we're
good.
just like to give it a little bit of context. Nova would just be making sure that everything goes smoothly on or to the trip, like helping out where he can, doing like basically helping fly the ship over to where it needs to go.
Yeah, so Dwayne would probably just be tinkering, upgrading, as well as just looking over the tactical map of Kelvis.
Yep, Mariko would be working on her knife when that's happening. When she's not doing that, she'd probably just be like on the training deck or whatever.
Dwayne, every time you're looking over something, you get every so often you just get a snide quip sigil, and he's just comes over and just like, this would go so much faster if you just took the phantom ship yourself, Ranger.
Is that advisable?
It depends on how fast you want to get to your location.
Wait, how fast can you go in comparison to the Gamma?
I'd say I'd be able to cut the journey in half.
Dwayne's just gonna push the intercom. Guys, we might have something.
No, but I would say Noah shows up first because he's probably the closest one to the ship bay. What's up?
Sigil says that the dropship can get there in like half the time.
That, albeit without most of your equipment, but the schematics that I've been able to integrate in since my coming into being.
How many of us can you fit on there again?
That should be all of us, but yeah.
All of you could, but the disadvantage you're at then is you lose the advantages of the Gamma being your hub, your command center.
Nova would actually point that out. Like, I mean, we're not in really any particular rush on this one, are we? But I don't think we should lose our advantage of being or having the Gamma with us.
I mean, unless on like the last couple of days we just decided, screw it, we'll go on ahead and have Daxian catch up with us and do it that way. But again, still.
Thing is, we wouldn't be with our equipment though.
That's the main thing. Good
I mean,
idea in theory.
it's a good
actually,
suggestion, but
Scott, are you doing anything?
Nothing in particular. Like I might be like working out or something.
Greenhead was stuffing his face in the canteen.
I might not still be doing that. Might.
I'm just kind of thinking with what me, Nova, and Mariko are doing here on the ship. I mean, if Scott's not doing anything, if Arrow's not doing anything, maybe those two could go on ahead and have a quick scout. Maybe do some planetary scans, and we catch up in the meantime.
I will point out this is all things Sigil is saying, but he's provided absolutely zero evidence.
for all we know, it could be also just as fast as the Gamma.
Look, I'm
Remember, still.
I'm willing to. I'm willing to trust Sigil.
It's still the dropship that Dwayne and Scott used for all their missions. You already know how fast it is, and to your knowledge, it's not faster than the Gamma. But you are now having to take into consideration that the dropship itself has become something more. But at the same time,
Can Nova point that out actually? Because he would have he sure as hell would have probably realized that by now.
yeah, well, Dwayne would understand as well. Dwayne would know it because it looks like the drop, although subtle, it very much does match Dwayne's morphed form in certain subtle ways.
Wait a minute. Are we sure that the dropship is faster still? I mean,
Well, I mean, Sigil was able to reconfigure the insides of the ship.
the inside, sure, but like.
I mean, you know, what's not to say that he reconfigures it to add a booster to it? That is what you did, right? Like Dwayne's turned his head towards the console to speak to Sigil about it.
I merely put the living quarters back to the way you said we should do it, because the green-head one was extremely angry.
You know what? Like basically tie in to see like what the top speed of the Gamma versus the top speed of Sigil is.
Of the Phantom dropship?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Like, what would I roll for that? Like, I feel like I need to roll something too.
That would be technology. And you can roll with grid tech.
I got myself D6. How did it go? Out of the 23.
Yeah. So you run a comparison. And it comes through. The Gamma is infinitely faster than the dropship. But you also don't get this. You also get the sense that Sigil wasn't lying. You. It's just kind of more like a lost in translation type deal. The dropship is fast. It is fast. But the Gamma itself is a flying base. So
we're all able to talk to Sigil, right? Not just
yeah.
Wayne.
When you're in the thing, yes. Sigil, for all intents and purposes, is like Glyph. It's just that he's the personal AI of Phantom Ranger, or in this case, the Phantom Black.
Sigil, my friend, I feel that you are over padding your stats a little bit.
No, I still believe that the dropship's capabilities of getting there will be faster, so long as I plot the course correctly and have absolutely zero margins of error.
Well, according
Basically,
to this,
basically, what Sigil's just said is like, yeah, okay, the gamma may be faster, but if I plot this course completely and utterly accurately down to the finest decimal point, I'm faster than the big ship.
well, who's to say we can't just do both? You plot the course with Glyph, and we all get there the same time.
Is at this point Glyph chimes in. You are assuming we are able to make such an astral plotting. Such capabilities are beyond even my sensory capabilities.
Friend, but that's just with you by yourself. If you work with him, you might, or with a Sigil, you might be able to do that.
Since Dwayne's going to be saying this in Cato, you know, with the dropship attached to the Gamma, it might actually act as like a booster to the astro navigation system.
Again, Glyph chimes in. Do not believe you are understanding what I said, Ranger. A more blunt approach. The calculations needed to plot this course down to the very finest decimal point are beyond current technological advancements. Basically, Glyph just told you that.
Any rebuttal?
Sigil just kind of goes, do it if I had some time. Basically, from this, Sigil's got ship envy. I did say Sigil was a dick. Remember, I did say Sigil was a dick.
I'm gonna, like, in character, no one's just gonna laugh after Glyph says that. It's like,
Now I'm thinking about what would happen if we put Sigil and Glyph in the room together by themselves.
Sigil is a little bit envious. Again, he doesn't operate. One thing you have to remember: Glyph is an AI man-made. Sigil is a manifestation. Is an AI of grid manifestation, which is why Sigil sounds a bit more human and Glyph sounds more robotic. But yeah, that was just Sigil being like, "I could do it. I'm a ship too."
You and your big fancy ship, I'm a dropship.
I'm not used to working with everybody or with other people. I'm sorry.
But he was born 5 days ago. Yeah, that was just a little bit of an RP thing I wanted to put across for Sigil, just to again remind you of what you've got yourself into there, Dwayne.
That's fine.
Okay, so one last check. Is everyone done?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, you all go about your business on the Gamma as it speeds towards your next location. You don't come under any anomalies or anything of the type. Any messages that get sent, they are there. Any information that you need is sent to the Gamma, vice versa. And On the last day of your travel, Glyph announces that you are just about to come out of FTL in the orbit of planet Kelvis. You all feel the gamma shudder to a halt. Well, not so much a halt, shudder and come out of FTL to the atmosphere of a stark blue and white planet.
It's all black on my screen.
Yeah, same.
Of course it does, because nothing ever gets saved. Token visibility. No, I have to do something. How about now?
Yep.
Yep.
Sweet. Over the Tannoy. We've arrived at planet Kelvis's orbit. Rangers. Attempting to make communication with the Alliance bases now. God, no. Sorry. Professor Daxon goes up and says, Rangers, welcome to the front line. And as the camera pans out, you see that there's 2 or 3 satellite stations orbiting Kelvis. You see one of them is damaged. There are a fleet of ships here of varying make. But you can see the telltale signs of battles that have been within orbit. And if you were to look long enough and close enough, you could see small little indications on the planet's surface from where you are, where there's combat. And that is where we are going to end episode 47. We've been going for 3 hours.
This was a fun way to get back into it.
Yeah, I felt like it was be a good one. I know there wasn't very many roles and it was like that, but again, sometimes the sessions just go that way.
Yeah, I need to BRB for a bit, unfortunately.
I mean, session's over. You know, that's it. That's the end of it. So
I'd say just can just go ahead and just sign off real quick.
yeah, if you need to go, sign off. That's fine.
Oh, it's just more. I just need the Louis for a while, so I might miss the call at the end. So
No, that's fine. But yeah, that is episode 47 of Power Ranger CyberStrike. We are back, hopefully, and we promise we will try to be a bit more consistent. But life is what life does, scheduling and all that fun stuff.
I'll make a joke right now.
No,
There are 52 weeks of the year. We're gonna try to at least have half of those in terms of sessions.
yeah, and I also promise that it won't focus so much on one singular place. Like I said, that was just my fault in the way I wrote that particular arc. I just did too much.
I mean, in all fairness, if we would have had a regular schedule, I think it would have been over sooner than later.
Yeah, probably. But, you know, ifs and buts and all that stuff. But yes. So, that's going to do it for us here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's a nice easer one to ease back in. Again, I know some people don't like RP heavy sessions, and that's totally fine. But hey ho, that's how tabletop games are played. So, real quick, we're going to do a little. We'll just sign off, and we will see you in the next one. So, first things first, Choco, who are you? Where can they find you?
Hello, I'm ChuckZombie101. You can find me on the social medias as in a form of ChuckZombie101. I stream on Twitch, where you can find me doing really anything. I'm hoping to stream soon, since it's the beginning of the year. What you can find me doing on Twitch on Thursdays is streaming Baldur's Gate 3 along with Royal Hoshi and Draco_Magnus, as we're currently in Moonrise Towers. So come check us out there. Tuesdays, you can find me here every Tuesday doing this campaign on this channel. Also, later tonight and every other Tuesday, you can find me and DeLuna along with many other of our friends in Phase of Our Lives, our Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign over at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. We're currently involved in dealing with a hag situation. So come tune in for that. And Wednesdays, you can find me and DeLuna over on twitch.tv/Draco_Magnus for our Curse of Strahd campaign, Barovian Odyssey. Where we're currently dealing with a bit of a shadow wolf being situation. So as we deal with that, we'll be heading to rescue some children. And that's pretty much me.
Fantastic. Cryptic, who are you? Where can they find you?
Hi, I'm Cryptic Sage. You can find me at twitch.tv/Cryptic_Sage, and where every Saturday, unless I have work, we run World Domination Wrestling. It's been a fun trip, let me tell you.
Awesome. DeLuna, who are you? Where can they find you?
Hello, my name is 13. You find me on Blue Sky at Dylan, as well as Twitter, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, while it's still up, anywhere else at Dylan 13. Like Chocolate mentioned, tonight we're going to be doing our Phase of Our Lives campaign. I'm really happy to get back with with that campaign. And tomorrow, you'll join me and Choco again for our Barovian Odyssey campaign. Both of which a lot of stuff is happening that's really exciting. So do check out.
Awesome. Hard luck. Who are you? Where can they find you?
I am the internet's Mr. Hardluck. You can technically find me on twitch.tv/Mr. Hardluck, where I have ever streamed before. You can also find me as my real life pro wrestling alter ego, the classiest man in the multiverse, Scott E. Stevens, on Facebook and on YouTube, where you can see a bunch of my old matches. Go watch them. They're terrible.
I don't know if Rosso's back yet, but Rosso is the artist for much of the tokens in the game. He does a lot of the artwork, and for what you saw on the bottom of the screen of the overlay. Go and check him out on all his socials. I believe it's Rosso Ryu on YouTube and Rosso06 on Blue Sky and Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. And finally, we have Dynamo Tom. Who are you? Where can they find you?
I'm Tom. You'll find me here next session.
Tom is also the artist of all the work you see in the slideshow at the start, BRB, and at the end here. Go check him out on their socials. Dynamo Tom, look him up. Lots of Toku art. Fantastic.
Twitch.tv/Dynamo Tom.
And that one. Great work, fun times, do the things. And of course, I am Twitch the Person. You can find me here doing many things, hopefully in 2025. I know I say it a lot, but it's because many things happened in 2024 which did not go my way, but 2025 will be different. You can find everything you need to know about me below my stream. If you want to catch up on the entirety of the campaign of Power Rangers CyberStrike, you can go to my YouTube channel, which as of this morning has everything uploaded and scheduled to go. Along with this one will be once episode 46 goes up. But yes, I'm hoping to stream all sorts of variety stuff here this year and beyond, and a couple of other projects that I am working on, and one that I am trying to reignite, as it was. But yeah, until then, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time. I'm looking for someone to raid. I've got a couple of people I can raid into. So I think I'm going to raid into Zymersite. First raid of the new year. See if the raid works, because it was broken the last time I tried this, because all the things. Hey, there it goes. Yeah. First raid of 2025. Go CyberStrike is the raid message, as always. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's always a pleasure. We'll see you next time. Stay safe. Be kind. If you can't be kind, shut the fuck up.
Fuck up.
And keep it to yourself.
Hail Pigeon.
Hail Pigeon.
Hail
Pigeon.
Hail pigeon.
I don't get to start that off every now and then, so.
Hail Pungus.
See you later, guys.
Bye, everybody.